Peace, peace, peace. What is your brother Tyrone Swano, aka the Orthodox Moor, here with my brother Sergeant Debunk, and we are going to do a debate, review, and build on a couple debates that's been on the Solar Vision Debate League. So go check them out if you haven't seen go check out that YouTube page, Solar Division Debate League, if you haven't seen any debates. This week we'll be reviewing Lord Abba versus Judah Nazareth, and we'll be reviewing myself, the Orthodox Moor, versus G-Kon. And we'll also be talking about areas where we feel like the different ideologies can maybe come together and unify on some solutions in the community and whatnot. And we might even get into some early debates that the brother has reviewed and seen and whatnot. We'll see how it goes and whatnot and how it works. But with that, what's good, brother Sergeant Debunk?
Peace. It's all good. What's up, Orthodox Moor? I'm chilling.
All is well. All is well.
Those were some good debates too, man. How do you want to start? Which one would you want to tackle first, or do you want to kind of just go all around?
Whichever one you want to tackle first, bro.
That's a good question. No. You know what? I got the one right in front of me right now. Is in my is Lord Abba versus is it Judah Nazareth? Right? I'm pronouncing that right? And the reason why I like this is because you actually had that same debate. But different from comparison of the Circle 7 Quran to a different holy book. I forgot the first debate that you had with someone about, what was the title for that? It was the Circle 7 Quran or a particular form of Islam? What was the name of that?
It was was the Circle 7 Quran the uniting of the Quran of Mecca?
No, the one you had with Bashir.
Yeah, was the Circle 7 Quran the uniting of the Quran of Mecca?
That's what the title was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I like it because it was a beautiful thing. It speaks to what we're speaking about here. They found a common thread by the end of the bill. You feel me? They were looking for a common thread. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of speaks to what we're trying to say. Like it seemed like at least Lord Abba definitely came with, like, I don't even want to argue with nobody. Let's see what we can find that unites. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked about it. But in reference to the debate, I don't think from my perspective, and they got to talking about some things that seem, that connected with me with, the mathematics and reference to the connection to the nation of gods and earth. It spoke to me about what our issue is here, and when at the end of the debate, Judah Nazareth also tried to give a suggestion to Solomon by saying, you know what I'm saying, we can use this same platform and not go against each other, but try to find a way to unite. And I also seen Lord Abba, he manifested that in his bill when he decided not to, when he said and he was going to use his bill to build, and he was saying that it would be good to, if him and Lord Judah can get together and try to figure something out. So I was thinking the same thing after listening to this bill. I thought that that's a perfect platform to do something exactly what Lord Abba asked to do, which was instead of coming argumentative, let's figure out where the truth lies. And I think we'll find something there. And I think what's going to happen, because this is what I seen from both of the bills that we're going to build on, it's all connected. It's all connected. I think that's where in your bill with G-Kon, I think, and even in the beginning of this bill with Judah Nazareth, from the perspective of the Israelites, it seems like their perspective is there's some select group of people that is higher than some other people or more connected to God. And I think that's where you get into a problem. But all of the scriptures are connected. So I think all the people are connected, and all these different variations are just perceptions. But the truth in it is what they were actually building on at the end. And unfortunately, I guess that's me being biased to my perspective, that mathematics that comes involved with that, the actual manifestation of what is behind the parables and the words that is being said. And Judah Nazareth had a paper with all that illustration right there, with all the geometry that comes from these words that's in these holy books. And that's where the truth lies, ultimately. And I think that if we if we have these conversations sooner or later, we would strip away all that and get to that point.
I'm with that, man. Like I was talking to Solar way before this debate even happened. Even with my first debate, before my first debate with Imam Bashir about the concept, if I was going to debate somebody, I wanted to be able to do like a unity build afterwards and see what we could kind of build on and do like a public thing.
Right.
And he was down for it. Like so for instance, I'd asked that Imam Bashir do a public build on, for instance, the concept of the seal of the prophets, right? And the fact that the Ahmadi Muslims and then the Moorish American Muslims, we say that there another prophet came after Muhammad, and we agree on the concept, so we should be able to do a group build on that in public, right? Right. But maybe I think the brother was busy. He's been moving and a whole bunch of other stuff, and he had other debates, so we couldn't do that build. But yeah, I love the fact that Soleiman was always from the get-go has been down from that concept. We can debate, but we can also build. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, family, we're going to do a debate review, but we're also going to talk about where we think that the ideologies can come together, might be able to come together and whatnot. Right. So with that, let's just hop into the debate. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do that. We can break it down kind of the way I was doing it. I think that makes it better. Like if we remember, like just the beginning, like how did you see, not necessarily the intro, but the first round to the second round type of thing.
So in terms of a debate, this so you were talking about like they were building more on a unity tip, right? Like to where like right off the top, but I was saying at the end, right? Like so you at the beginning of the debate, you could see where Judah was coming out swinging and whatnot in terms of not at the Moorish Science Temple of America like he did at Taharqa. He was more so just trying to build on the science of the Torah and the science of how you use the allegory of the Torah to build yourself as a temple.
Right.
And what I got from Lord Abba from the opening round was the fact that he was just going to counterpunch, and he didn't really have it didn't seem like he had anything prepared, right?
Right.
It seemed like he was just freestyling.
Right.
And I think he didn't have anything prepared. Used with One West school Israelites, and he knows that Judah Nazareth is not from the One West school, so that he might not have been sure as to what his particular Israelite ideology was. So he kind of wanted to have that one feel him out round, like, all right, where is he coming from? You know what I'm saying? That's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. What do you think?
No, that's exactly the way it was like, and we always like to use the boxing analogy. I mean, all boxers do that in the first round, unless you really know him or you Mike Tyson and you gangster and you're just going to go in.
Right.
But, but most people let me see what this dude got. And to be honest, even me, when he broke that, the illustration down, to me, it felt like he had the map. So I was really excited when I saw the geometry of it. I was like, okay, he about to break down some math, because I know that a lot of people, even current day Jews, some of them read and get into the Torah beyond. There was a movie out about, I think that number he was talking about 9, where people get obsessed with the numbers that they find within the Torah and all the mathematics within it. And so I wanted to see some of that. But he talked about it from a more, what's that word we use when they talk about it? From a more, the same way G-Kon was talking about, instead of coming in from a more knowledge base, it was coming from a more
like esoteric or what?
Yeah, like esoteric, not esoteric, metaphorical.
Okay.
So it was like he was using a metaphor perspective to explain, like he was talking about the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in reference to the geometry, but he didn't give any of the math of it. He was just talking about how it illustrates with the text in the Bible. But I understood his point in trying to say that this is best for our people because it gets more detail into some facts or something like that. But I don't think he illustrated enough for me. But I think this is a little tilted in the debate from the onset. That's why I also think that Lord Abba had to wait a while, because this is a different form of Israelite that he's coming from. I'm assuming it's his own from, that's the way he described it. This is his, he said he didn't get taught by anybody. He just picked up the knowledge himself. So that definitely means that
he calls himself a Nazarene. He specifies himself by calling himself a Nazarene and whatnot.
So he's coming from a more, from my understanding, is that more connected to Jesus in perspective, right? When he's using that Nazarene, is that what it is?
I would have to ask Judah what he means on that. But for me, I think it's kind of like, so a Nazarene and a Nazarite is a particular type of Israelite. It's one that's gone through a consecration, and they're wearing they're wearing their hair in 7 braids and whatnot. And they have a particular vow that they hold. You know what I'm saying? And so for him, I think he says that Naztarah means like a guardian or a protector. So he calls himself like a protector of the Torah.
Okay.
So I think that's how, I think that's what a protector of the Torah, guardian of the Torah. And Judah, if I got that wrong, bro, man, yeah, correct me in the comment section, bro.
And I'm gonna check into it because I've seen at least 2 different perspectives of a variation of a different understanding, and that's what I'm noticing too, that everybody is splintering, you know, because he felt like the Israelites in their current day form is off, you know, and everybody does that. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, I think that when he showed that math, I was expecting a lot more in reference to the math, but it felt like it was more in reference to the metaphorical perspective. I can't remember right now, and that's why usually when I do, I always go through the video so I can see it, and it draws back to my head. And I think that's what kind of threw off Lord Abba, and he could not, because that wasn't knowledge that he was privy to in reference to, and he probably couldn't even. I also felt like he didn't want to down it as if it wasn't something useful for the people, so he decided to debate it from a more unified perspective, and that was a peace bill, because it seemed, or like you said, it could have been a little bit also that he was unprepared. Maybe there was research to do in reference to this brother's perspective. I don't know how long he had an understanding of when they would be building about it though. But I'll tell you this, I'll give it, because just like with Solomon said, he in the future he's working on this way to, I guess, give us some sort of a score to have a winner and loser. And I would say I would give the first round to Judah Nazareth, and mostly because the information does fit in line with my perspective that you got to look past, and it looked like that's what he's doing, looking past the scripture, but using the scripture, but looking at it from a more logical or factual perspective. And that's what I think is definitely best for our people. But I also thought it was a little tilted, because I feel like the Circle 7 Quran is so almost just like getting knowledge itself in the nation God's earth, although we don't have a book. To get full knowledge itself, you have to read all of the books. And I believe that is what Noble Drew Ali was pushing also. So you can't leave none of it out, because it's all connected, although his leaning is towards that the perfect, I guess, perspective of it would be Islam.
From a Muslim perspective, like via the Quran of Mecca, like, so more.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
Muslims, you're breaking up too, so hold on, I might have too much, so hold on, let me stop screen sharing, and let me just try to simplify things. All right, how's that? Am I breaking up now or no?
No, you good, clear.
Okay. So as Moorish American Muslims, we hold the Quran to be where we the Quran of Mecca to where we derive our power and authority, and the Quran of Mecca stipulates that as to differentiate between the books of Allah, right? The books that come down to the messengers, right? So it says that in Surah 2, Ayat 285, the messenger, right? The Rasulullah did not differentiate between the messenger. 3, Ayat 81, pre-existence in the soul realm, that Allah got all the prophets together that were ever going to come down and said, check this out, I'm only going to give you all one book. That's my phone. One book, and you're all going to confirm the same book. You're all going to get the same information in whatever in your language. You know what I'm saying? Read that they were going to, and you're all going to confirm each other as prophets, right? And so it's they all agreed with them, right? So we're not in our etiquette, like so it says in dealing with people of the book, we're not allowed to dispute amongst people of the book. We're allowed to we were supposed to confirm what comes down to them and what came down to us, and that we're supposed to come to common terms between us and them. And we're supposed to agree on certain concepts and whatnot. So the whole debate title is actually kind of a misnomer for an actual Muslim, right? Like we're not supposed to be debating one book versus the other, right? So there's that. But based upon that, right? I got like so Judah went right into the to what he was talking about with the Torah, right? Like what was useful about it, right? Did you feel like Lord Abba went into when it came to the first round that he talked about the circle, like he went into the circle 7? Like I know I believe. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was saying yes. I do feel like he went it because he read it from it specifically, directly.
Okay.
I think almost a whole chapter. It was a short chapter, but he read the whole thing.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. I believe it was a chapter on justice, I believe.
Yeah, I remember, but he read the chapter twice. Do you remember if the one on justice was the one he read first in the build or at the end? Maybe he read one at the end.
Yeah, justice was the one that he read first.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Now go ahead.
So that one starts out. It goes into a whole bunch of aspects as to what justice replicate or what is justice and how and the principles thereof. Like for instance, it'll talk about like the people. There's multiple principles displayed in it. It just gives multiple illustrations of the same concept. One of them, for instance, being that the people who you owe money to, you owe a debt to, they're relying upon your honor, right? Like, so don't disparage them for relying upon you. Like, don't shortchange them, and don't not pay them back because they're being honorable and trying to rely upon you and your honor and whatnot. So justice is if I'm going to loan you something, you pay me back. Don't me loan you something, then you steal it from us, right? So he was trying to break down the practical application of just everyday living and whatnot, right?
Okay, and that's what I got from it. And that's what I got from it. Okay. You can pull positive kind of like morals and perspectives from it.
Like given that whole that whole breakdown. Yeah. So I kind of want to like.
Okay, you broke up real big right there. It's a long pause. Now, your breakup was
a boxing joke, like a tear on or whatever. We can just get.
Was really deep. I didn't catch probably like 10% of that. He's silent now. So let me go. It still has me connected to the Hangout call. Did